Hi, I'm Dr. Brad Fanistel. I've been a board-certified, boots-on-the-ground internal medicine doctor for 30 years, treating patients in clinics, hospitals, and ICUs. Today, I want to talk about the mind-body idea of taking charge of your own nervous system, or being in charge of your own nervous system. And I want to talk about this because there's a question on my YouTube channel from a viewer, somebody in our YouTube community, who had watched another video of mine about morning anxiety. You can go back and watch that if you want. I have some things to say about it. But spoiler alert, towards the end, I say, here's something you can do about morning anxiety. And then I say, the thing you can do when you're lying there in bed freaking out morning anxiety, get your ass out of bed. And so I talk about why that sometimes needs to happen. And I talk about what your brain is doing and why people get morning anxiety in that video. But this viewer rightly put a comment in there, had a great question. She says, correct me if I'm wrong, but this get out of bed seems like the opposite of what you teach. If my alarm is set for 8 a.m., but my anxiety wakes me up at 6 a.m. and it's telling me I'm in danger and telling me, hey, I should run away and get away from this, get out of bed. I thought I was supposed to show my nervous system that I'm safe and just be with the anxiety until it's actually time to get out of bed. So she thought I'm giving a contradictory message here. This is a great question, great observation. I'm so glad you asked this because it gives me the opportunity to help you just think about things in a way that I think can help you keep moving forward here. I talk a lot in mind-body medicine about listening to your own inner wisdom. In fact, one of the principles that guides my entire treatment here is that you have your own internal wisdom. You know more about you than I do. I don't know what's going on with most of you. You know it though. Listen to that, very important. So sometimes that could be interpreted as listening to your gut. We want to pay attention to the body. The body is the subconscious brain, and when we pay attention to it, we're now in the language of the subconscious brain. These tense sensations of anxiety, we want to sit with those. Yes, we do sometimes. But if you wake up at 6 and you think, I'm not going to get out of bed till 8 a.m. when I really should be getting up, and my anxiety has woken me up, okay, I'm going to see if I can just sit with it and tell it that everything's okay. This idea of sitting with sensations, super important. There are specific ways to do this that we practice in the class. But if that's something you're familiar with and you're like this viewer asking, well, why shouldn't I sit with the sensation? You're telling me to get out of bed and get on with my day. Isn't that running away from it? And the answer is yes, it is running away from it. And the answer is also that sometimes we need to run away from it. So we do want to practice sitting with sensations and not running away from them. But we don't have to do it for 2 hours between 6 and 8 a.m. when we're feeling all worried and about to go crazy. If you're feeling like, I gotta wait till 8 a.m., you're now no longer mindfully, non-judgmentally sitting with the sensations of anxiety without any fear. You are gritting your teeth, sucking it up, and getting through it. That's a great survival strategy. It's a great coping mechanism, but you're not rewiring the brain. So if you do wake up with anxiety, step one is always step back. There's what my brain's doing. And remember, we do this without any self-blame. These circuits aren't your fault. If you have anxiety, especially morning anxiety that just came out of nowhere, you woke up and there it is, that is a brain circuit. It's a learned neural circuit in your subconscious brain, and it's not your fault. You didn't plan to have it. There's nothing about you that wants it. It's your primitive survival brain running some circuits that developed outside of its conscious awareness, outside of your conscious awareness. Not your fault. That's an important part of getting better. You may not need to hear it, but some people need to hear it, and they need to hear it and remind themselves over and over again. This is a learned neural circuit that I didn't plan, and it's not my fault that it's happening. In fact, it's happening for a good reason, because I had some stuff in my life, in my past, where my brain had to be like this, and now it did it so often, it's kind of got that neural circuit running all the time. So that's just step number one of all of this. If everything I teach is stepping back, watching what your brain is doing and not blaming yourself for it, but then taking some charge. Okay, what can I do? And here's the difference between sitting in bed for 2 hours while you sit with it versus getting up and getting moving. If you're able to sit with the bodily sensations of anxiety that just came on first thing in the morning. Maybe there's some racing thoughts with it, there usually are, about all the worries and the things you got to do or the things that happened yesterday or whatever. But if you're able to sit, okay, this has all got me like this. Look what my brain is doing. If you want to sit and get interested in that for 2 hours and you're able to do it, go ahead. Or if you do it for a little while and you find, hey, when I just sit with my sensations, sometimes they calm down, then great, use it as a calming down tool if you want to. But really, when I say sit with sensations, I'm talking about retraining the brain, telling the brain, oh, I see what you're doing. You're putting me into fight or flight, and I'm right with you. I'm really noticing all these specifics of the sensation, and I'm not going to run away from it. I'm safe. I'm not in any danger. That's a great place to go. And if you feel like, yeah, I can do that for 2 hours, it's kind of interesting watching all these sensations move around in my body, okay, do it for 2 hours. But for most people, that gets a little overwhelming. And at any time, if you're doing such an exercise and you're feeling like, oh man, I should try to sit with it, if you're trying to sit with it, you're no longer doing the exercise correctly. You're no longer successfully giving your brain messages of safety. It's time to move away. So you want to listen to your body. You want to listen to your subconscious brain. It's sending this message. But I have patients who say, what do you mean listen to it? I'm trying to listen to my body, but my body and my subconscious brain is always sending me messages of danger. And what do you mean listen to it? If I listen to it, I'm going to be feeling like crap all the time. We want to listen to it, but we don't want it to run the ship. So we step back, we recognize what it's doing, and then we make a decision. I see what you're doing. You've been hijacking me for a long time, lizard brain, primitive survival brain. Yes, I see that. But I'm not living in that space anymore. I'm going to run the ship here. I can't change you right now, but I can make a decision. I'm going to step back and say, yeah, I'm going to watch you, but I'm not going to watch you for 2 hours. That's going to drive us both crazy and be counterproductive because I'll be in this kind of state trying to get through the 2 hours. So I know what I need to do here. When it's this bad, I do need to get away from it. But before I do that, I'm going to get away from it on my terms, not on your terms. And I'm talking to my lizard brain here or my primitive survival brain. I'm going to get away from it, but I'm going to first sit with you and notice all the sensations, the tightness in the chest, the constriction in the throat, the pounding heart, the nausea, whatever the physical sensations are. Now I'm in the language of the autonomic nervous system. I'm going to notice those, maybe for 1 minute, maybe for 3 minutes. I usually don't recommend longer than that, but if you want to, you can. You can tell, am I able to sit with it and get interested? I can. That doesn't seem to abate it at all. In fact, these thoughts keep trying to come back in, and I have little jags of maybe getting worse while I'm mindfully watching it. Yeah, I don't think I can do this for very long. Now it's time to get my ass out of bed. So you're making the decision that I see what's going on. I don't have complete control over you. I'm practicing. I'm getting better. I'm working towards having complete charge of my nervous system and being able to, when I notice you running me into fight or flight, I'm working on practicing changing that, but I don't have that ability right now. I don't have the ability to completely change my autonomic nervous system. Nobody does. But I'm teaching you not to do this as often. And in the process of teaching, let me just take this as an opportunity. Can I see the morning anxiety? Oh, there's an opportunity to retrain. But it's probably not an opportunity to retrain for 2 hours. It may be an opportunity to train for a minute or two. I see it, yeah. All right, I'm going to get moving before you run my whole ship for the day by making me feel like crap. I'm taking charge. We're getting out of bed. So I hope that explains why I can recommend on one hand, sit with your sensations, but on another hand, when things are especially fraught, like maybe morning anxiety, it's okay to give yourself a little love. This is not about learning how to sit with something for too long. We practice in short increments, knowing that the brain will learn over time. And there may come a time where it's easy for me to get up in the morning, or where I do notice the morning anxiety, but it's not as bad, or where I do notice it and I'm able to actually sit with it. And as I just watch it move around in my body, just that, it dissipates. That happens a lot. But it may not be happening now in you. This is a process. We're working towards getting charge of our own nervous system. And we're retraining our brain every day, little by little, relaxing into the process. And if you're at a place where you can easily watch it for quite some time in the morning and that's what you think is good for you, great. If you're not in that place, give yourself a little love, back up, give yourself a little bit of grace. You're working on it. Do it for a short time, or don't do it at all at the beginning. Realize that this is level 10. First thing in the morning, you're going to sit with your anxiety sensations other times a day. Morning's not the time to do it, and I'm going to get out of bed right away. That's my plan for getting away from this. You figure yourself out. There's no one right answer for everyone. You know your own nervous system. You can change this. I see people change this who've had anxiety for decades. You can do this, but relax into the program. This takes kindness towards yourself. It takes turning towards sensations. It takes stepping back and realizing that you're not to blame. It's coming from your brain, but not a part you have direct control over. It's not your fault. It takes all of these little tools, the attitude, and when you can do this and relax into the process, you'll see a change. It might take several weeks to start seeing things change, but they will change. They can't not change. This is how brains work. All right, if you like these videos, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share it with somebody, make a comment. All of that stuff helps us keep going because this is information that needs to get out to the masses, this different way the brain works, starting to understand that anxiety is just a learned neural circuit. I say just, like I'm trivializing it. It can be severe, but it is a learned neural circuit, and because of neuroplasticity, you can change it. All right, thanks for watching. I hope this helps somebody out there. I'm Dr. Brad Fanistel at BoulderMindBodyMedicine.com. See you next time.